man. He built these babies from the ground up.
We could all leave on a good note.
Definitely want to leave on a good note.
I feel this trip's going to be quite an experience which I'll never forget. Especially the rain. Yes, the weather will be good.
Over here and sit down. Come on. Yeah, we have a special presentation today. And I need everybody's cooperation in this because today's a very special day for one of the chaperones that's coming with us. It's my wife's birthday today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
This trip is, I want to say thank you, Mr. Kastelic. We're having a great time. Well, I hope these horses don't take off and run on me. I might be a big guy, but them horses are about 10 times as big as I am. Welding, Rob, is our wrangler for the trip, and we had a slight problem with one of the tongues on the wagon. They backed it up and they've been in half. So he's in the middle of welding a piece of angle iron, trying to strengthen. I hope we don't have the problem with the other tongues, being we have 3 others like it.
On the back of this water wagon. 10 minutes on the back of this water wagon makes me appreciate rubber tires, shocks, and refrigeration, not to mention stereo music in the background. I definitely agree with the instructor. This will be a course in American history as well as a lesson on appreciation of modern conveniences.
Yeah.
In Carefree, Linda Turley, News 5.
there's this big rush. First of all, we can't go over there. The cattle guard right there. We can't go over that. And there's some big ruts here that the wagons wouldn't make it over. So we have to fill in the ruts in order to make sort of ramps for the wagons to get over, so we won't damage anything.
Channel 2 News. After just 10 minutes and 4 miles on the Arizona Trail, I begin to appreciate my modern-day expenses like Cuisinart, blenders, and rubber tires. Mr. Kastelic, American history classes are not only interested in learning about American history, but also in appreciation. Excuse me. Take that one over, Howard. Hi,
model or something
Lisa Smith here on the Arizona Trail, standing. Action News here at the scene of the Palo Verde wagon trip. There seems to be the syrup syndrome that's just happened. Here we have the manager of the syrup wagon here. What seems to be the problem?
Oh, nothing. Everything's under control. There's no problem.
Yeah, you guys don't have to clean it up. But I gotta clean it up, you know?
And
Yeah.
there's
No problem.
seems to be some worry from the community of the wagon. Here we have some housewives.
What's growth on his daughter? It's unusual growth. I can't believe this.
Glowing.
It's terrible.
Syrup strikes
It's terrible.
again. Will Aunt Jemima be boycotted? we have misbehaving Monty. Excuse me, Monty, could we have a few words with you during your meal? Well, Howard, as you can tell, I'm pretty upset. They have cut down my rations. They have whipped me. We're here at a very morbid scene. 6 chickens have been decapitated. You can hear the screams of them right now. Why? For a little chicken dinner. I gotta get a block.
Down with it, run around.
You what?
You put it down with it, run around.
Now?
Yeah.
No, it was
Does
just
109 flat.
You heard the expression like a chicken with its head off. That's just the way they do. It wouldn't run. It would never get up on its feet, but it would flap its wings.
See that?
And
Got him? Oh. You're hired.
Let's
go. You're hired.
there you go.
They're like a prolonged death. Door number 1. All right, Senator, prolonging. I'm really a nice guy, you know, and please vote for me, by the way, when I run for office in student council. Or else you know what happens. We miss you, Dave. We miss you, Lambert. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we miss Dan Lambert.
Hey, do it.
Hard. Just one hand.
Up.
Hold it, still moving. It's alive.
Live.
Yeah, you forgot to cut that head off.
Deeper. In there, get one. We're
Alright, we'll give him a jacuzzi here.
So we can get the Polish jacuzzi now. And, hey, Danny Lamb, we miss you, bud. Wish you're out here.
No, it's no art.
You
It just takes
A sharp knife.
a sharp, well, you don't pluck them with a knife. We're one step beyond plucking at this point. No, all you need is hot water, and be sure that when you dunk the chicken,
A lot of guts.
it gets down so that the hot water gets to the root of the feathers.
I think we bombed out for dinner.
You were asking where the gizzard was. There's the heart.
Gizzard's up underneath there with all the sand in it.
This is the gizzard back here. And and that's the liver. Some people like to eat that.
Not me,
Chicken.
Can we barbecue it?
Where do you put the...
We're teaching you just how to survive if you have to.
You gotta take the cactus juice.
Here's a perfect example of what technology's done to us. It comes all wrapped in a package, you know, a plastic container, throwing $29.95 prices on there as long as you're willing to pay. Let somebody else do the dirty work. Huh? Yeah.
This right here's my turkey Bruce, and he drowned it. Oh no!
Rocks, I mean,
Big rock. That big a rock.
I mean, so we're gonna have some problems. We're gonna have. Now, what really bugs me is, see, Phil's driving the one wagon, so the Wrangler is gonna drive all the wagons down. Now, for the record, I'm gonna say that's not very fair, because
We failed them, and we brought this from. We want to take the rest away. That's not fair.
but we got it under control.
Right. See you later, Mom. I've had a heck of a good time. I don't think I'm ever going to talk to Sam again. How about you, dummy?
Well, I don't know much, but
Well,
I
hell,
would
you
say
can't
it's
ask
been pretty
me
fun.
then.
Well, we've had a good time and different, exciting. And how about you, dummy?
I ain't dummy.
You're right, you're stupid.
Doing is scraping the stripping out of this hide. We peeled it off. We've got it inside out now. And we're getting rid of the stuff that sticks to the hide because we want to tan it and give it to Miss Nelson for her class. We think she ought to have the one wagon train snakeskin. Well, now if you don't scrape that stuff off like I did, you can split one down the middle, take the hide off, and stick it onto the cantle of a saddle. And that stuff is so sticky.
This is Dr. Kastelic and his team of nurses here. Debbie just had a knee injury, and we got an ice pack. We also are going down to Sears to get a spigot to drain out the fluid from the side. We're going to have a little spigot and a little bucket out. We're going to cut a hole in her jeans right here. Yes,
I'm not getting a pulse.
Not getting a pulse. Well, here. Put an ice pack on. That's it. I'm sorry, Debbie's a bit of dust. She'll probably have to go home. This is the last day, but so what, right? Okay.
It's the last right.
That's what we can do. We got 10 seconds to go. We got orange cherries right here. We got yellow cake mix. We got graham crackers.
Just
Done.
spaghetti.
Just cake. Thank you. Done. Stop.
We got takeout from Laredo's here. We got the sauce for our spaghetti here. Rattlesnake bits here that we caught. Dave over there, one of the wranglers knocked off on his way here. Here's the thing, boiled water. What's this gonna have? More noodles for the spaghetti.
Well, right here we have a side of rattlesnake. It's the first time I've ever tried it, and it is good.
It's good stuff, tastes like chicken.
That's good rattlesnake, kind of like fish in a way. That's the bottom line. We did it. Hey, but
The trip and everyone's real tired, and all together we really had a good time. We learned a lot. We learned how to work together really well, and we learned all about how to work with people.
I'd like to thank Bud Brown and Mr. Kastelic for all the help they gave us.
It was a very rewarding experience. I'll never forget it. It was a lot of fun, and we wouldn't have missed it for anything.
Through all the complications, we came through it like one team. We made new friends, built our old relationships.
We learned how to work together, and when we work together, everything gets done, and it was great fun.
I learned how to do this, and I'm terribly scared of horses. It's just one accomplishment for me, seeing as I'm not too enthused about them. But I also learned that learned a lot about myself in this trip, a lot.
I learned to cooperate with people and to work with people as a team. What did you learn, Pam?
Well, I learned to get along with a lot of people that are difficult to get along with. Go on. I learned how to go to the bathroom in the desert.
There's Buckwheat. He did a heck of a job. I learned a lot on this trip. Just a lot of how to associate with people and how to work with friends.
Well, I learned basically the same. This is Chevy here, by the way. He did a heck of a good job. And I learned a lot on this trip, too. I learned how to get along with people and learned how to work in teams. So, I learned a lot about horses and how to hook them up on gear, which I never would have learned if I didn't come on this trip. I learned how hard the pioneers had it coming up and down these big hills, and we went on a trail. They didn't even go on a trail.
You know, it's so hard to learn to get along with the people in class. And the ones you see every day, you don't really know until you spend some time with them. It was so great having...
Without teamwork, it wouldn't be possible, and teamwork was one of the biggest things that helped us on this whole trip. It was totally bovine.
Well, we're finally back. We made it, barely, and we learned a lot, especially teamwork, right? Working together and learning about people. Learn about different people, and it was just a hell of a trip, let me tell you.
I learned how to use a porta-john, which is a shovel and a roll of paper. What'd you learn, Mike? I just learned how to drive teams, and camping for a long time takes a lot.
Well, I learned how to smell real good and make the most of what I got.
Well, I learned quite a bit on this trip, not only about people, but about the early days of the West, about horses, about cooking. I learned a little bit about everything, and I think I've learned more during this experience than I could ever learn in any book in any classroom. And I'd just like to say I hope it goes off next year, and if it does, I want to be there with Mr. Kastelic through the whole thing, through the thick and thin of the whole project. And it was great.
Put a challenge up to a bunch of high school kids, they'll never let you down. That's been my experience all my life, and this group is certainly no exception. And without any question, this is one of the finest groups of young people it's ever been my pleasure to associate with.
The trip was good for the kids to see how hard it is that pioneers had to come across and how hard it is to get equipment fixed. And I think it was good for all of us as far as dealing with weather conditions and road conditions and dealing with the personality of the different livestock on the trip. Are you cruising? And now that it's over, I'm going to have my husband home nights.
It was really great.
It's kind of tough to have it be over, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It took a long time to get into the swing of things.
Yes,
but
yes. But then you reach a point where you don't want it to end.
I know.
You were
having such a good time.
Yeah.
One word that would describe this trip. Teamwork. Teamwork is the word to describe it.
Totally delicious. It was just a delicious trip. Fantastic.
Excellent. Stupendous.
Bovine.
Kastelic, flick those breadcrumbs off your beard!
Fun.
Bathrooms.
It was tiring.
This trip was awesome. Fascinating. Gnarly. Towards, we made it. Big.
Trip is done. It was fun. Through the river, through the hills, through the grass. All is well, nothing's hurting. School is nigh.
That baby. Now that the trip's over, what do you guys want to do?
I don't know.
Now I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna take a shower.
I'm going.
Then when I get out of the shower about next Tuesday, I'm gonna get dressed, and I'll probably be late for school.
I'm going surfing. Brownies.
Take a shower, then I'm gonna inhale a few brownies and get a little chocolate in my system. That's about it. I'm gonna go home and take a shower, and I guess I'll watch TV.
Kevin's gonna go
I
use the
can't think of
bathroom.
anything, and I'm gonna use the bathroom a lot.
I'm gonna go on a nice hot date. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get to know my wife again. Party. Okay, well, here we all are, and it's the end of 6 days and about 50 some odd miles. We've all put in a lot of sweat. And I think we've all learned a lot from this trip. We've learned about technology and how it's changed our lives. We learned how to work together. We learned how to share. We learned about cooperation. There's a lot of different things. We've got my family around me here.
Daddy.
Thank all the people who put a lot of time, a lot of effort into the trip, building the wagons, getting all the preliminary work done that weren't able to come on the trip. We really appreciate all your help. Without you, we couldn't have come on the trip. We'd like to thank all the people, all the crafts and trades people, the people who gave us donations and made the trip possible, because it takes a lot of money to put a production like this on. Someone asked me when we pulled in, some parents came up and asked me, did I think the trip was what I expected it to be? I think it was more than what I expected it to be. It was fantastic. It was great success, and I think everyone learned a lot from the trip about themselves and about history, and what more could we ask for? I'd like to thank Mason Museum, Doug Loney for helping us with the wheels, Tracy Mead at the Mason Museum for lending us the wagons, the Charlotte Hall Museum in Prescott for letting us use the bicentennial wagon, which we're sitting in front of right now. Mr. Studebaker who lent us the plans, Mr. Marion who sold us one of the wagons, all Old McDonald's Farm who helped us with the teams, all the different people, unlimited amount of people who helped us. I'd like to thank them all. Without them, without their cooperation, this project wouldn't be possible. I also want to thank Bud Brown, Arizona Wagon Master, for coming along. His fantastic stories, skinning techniques made the trip a lot more flavorful. A lot of people have been asking me on this trip, the last couple of days in particular, about what are we going to do now with the wagons, what are we going to do with all the gear and all the knowledge that we've acquired. I think we can do it again. I think projects like this, similar projects like this, or taking a wagon train trip, should be done again. It's a fantastic learning experience for everybody. We're going to have to sit back, think about it, try to come up with a plan. We're going to need a lot of money for a production like this. But I think it'd be a great idea to do this project again. Time it right the way we did it this time. Trip's over. It was a fantastic experience and quite a successful operation.